Hello and welcome back to Alpha Tauri Imola today. A good point scoring run of Grand Prix in a row, and I've actually noticed a change that I haven't been alerted to. Alexander Albon is now suddenly 84 rated. I didn't get the 83 to 84 graphic thing, so I did get their monthly roundup, which did have Alex's reactions, I believe, improving, which is, the thing he's strong in anyway. Meanwhile, Yuki's control has gone up to 77 and his smoothness has gone up to 84. Alex's smoothness remains 83, so he's taken the lead in that front technically, even though Alex's directive is on smoothness, but of course he keeps getting the one thing that he already has a lot of. But oh well. A curious thing I forgot to mention last time out was the probably most beneficial dilemma that I've been presented with so far in this game. It asked me if Yuki Tsunoda, or more specifically Yuki Tsunoda specifically, asked me if he could skip his sponsor obligation because he wasn't feeling it. And bear in mind, that is the sponsorship obligations that I tried to minimize as much as possible at the beginning of the year because it's the one that reduces their control down to 50 odd. So of course I said yes, you could skip it. And now I've got this follow-up, which apparently they would like to rearrange it for the week commencing 6th of January 1900. I have no idea when that would have actually scheduled it because clearly that's a bug, but sponsor will be unhappy. Who cares? Literally never seen anything about the sponsor. I've literally never seen anything about sponsor's happiness in the game full stop, so I have no idea what mechanic that's referring to, and whether or not making them unhappy is a bad thing or not, or completely irrelevant. But if it makes them cancel all their other sponsorship obligations with Yuki Tsunoda, then please do that. You can keep your 500 grand, quite frankly, if it means Yuki Tsunoda remains at his full control for every single race. Because if he crashes, one car part costs me 400 grand, barest minimum. One part is 400 grand and it's 500 grand for 5 appearances. The balance is maddening. But anyway, Emilia-Romagna, Imola, see you shortly. Not an 88 weekend or a sprint weekend, if I remember rightly. Alrighty then, practice done and dusted. Carlos Sainz has a penalty. Don't know what for. Oh, there was an accident. There was a brief accident where he drove into a Lance Stroll, I think it was. But no issues. By the way, I'm fairly certain it didn't actually change my engine parts for the race last time. Can't be too bad, still got points. So 2 automatic laps incoming. First one seems to be relatively simple with each other there. Albon somehow does a worse lap. Yuki does 2 really good sectors and then a terrible one, apparently. Either way, confidence both in peak temporarily. Alright, times are filtering in behind and I'm starting to feel like I don't need to. Although the Alpines have gone faster, which is somewhat concerning. So I was expecting a wave to come out there. Zhou's right on the borderline behind us. Norris is well down. I think there's a couple of people that could put us 14th and 15th relatively easily, so if any of these other people can sort of hook up a lap, we're in a spot of bother. So we'll get Alex out as quickly as possible so he can get to the front of this batch, and then bring out Yuki behind. It's all well and good being last on track evolution and all that thing, because it's not really much of a thing. It's not a particularly warm track here at Imola, just over 30 degrees. Considering other tracks have been nearer 40, it might require the full push the entire lap. I struggle to see how the AI are actually warming up their tyres now even after the patch, because they still don't push at all until the very last corner. So that gets Alex ahead of the Mercedes, and he's going to have to start pushing everything now. Where's Yuki? Just coming around that last corner now. Yuki might be in a bit more bother here because he's caught behind a slower driver. Oh no, the Haas has peeled into the pits. We're okay. They were on an in-lap, not an out-lap. Traffic in the form of Lance Stroll, or Alonso. I think Yuki's been utterly mugged there. He's caught the Ferrari and the Aston Martin in a terrible, terrible spot. The only saving grace is everyone that was on the road behind us doing a flying lap is in exactly the same boat. Brand new tyres, Alex is going slower, because of course he is. I'm not even going to bother watching the rest of this lap on 2 times, because obviously not improving. Somehow. The one person I did expect to improve did, Norris. So everyone's done laps. 13th, 14th as things stand. Wasn't really expecting much, frankly, off that first run, but concerning the McLaren seem more competitive and concerning that the Alpines seem more competitive, we should get past Gasly, and Norris is well ahead that he's not going to be a problem on this lap either. So we've actually got ourselves a nice clear bit of track this time round. No issues. It looks like Tsunoda's cleared Gasly as well behind. And if Tsunoda will go on board with, we can watch Alex in the near distance. At the very least, Alex might give Yuki a lovely old tow up this first sector, at least. Might help slingshot one of us into the top 10. I think we should find the time. Both better first sectors, good to see. I haven't put perfect tyres on, but they are, 1 lap done. I never use a perfect set of tyres in Q2 anymore, because I'd rather have 2 clean sets in the race, even if we don't make the top 10. Because whilst the performance difference isn't really anything in qualification purposes, the extra distance they can do in the race is typically more beneficial. If we have a two-stop strategy with a medium sprinkled in. Because the two-stop tends to be more potent than the one-stop, so having two fresh softs is usually helpful. Albon with two better sectors. Yuki's slower in the second somehow. That's Alex into... oh, just 10th. Who went top 10? Who went top 10 there? Gasly? Of course, the one race where I put 10th in as a sponsor bonus because we've not been outside the top 10 with both drivers yet all season. I'll tell you, I think we might have been in round 2, but irritating. Still lock on to do a flying lap maybe, I don't know. No, everyone's on an in lap, it's only Hamilton on a flyer. So 11th and 13th, that's annoying. Maybe I should have put the fresh tyres on. To be fair, both drivers did slightly better and still, well, comparable anyway. Sorry, it was Australia where we were outside the top 10 with both drivers, but Norris into the top 10 is a concern, and Pierre 5th. I mean, he's had a toe there, hasn't he? Because that's an insane improvement. He would have been capable of top 10 anyway, but actually no, where has that pace come from? Fascinating that everyone was really slow in qualifying 3 in comparison. Carlos Sainz did a 113 flat in Q2, we did a 114 flat in Q3. I wonder if they use used tyres now in Q3 for some reason, which is why some of them have completely fresh sets for the race. Whereas before they used all 4 sets across the 3 sessions. So, odd. And Lance Stroll seemingly off the pace. Fernando on pole, by the way. Perez also loses the title of being the only person to qualify in the top 3 all year as a result of that as well. We still start 11th and 13th. Sainz's penalty only takes him to 10th, I think. I can see a 2-stop soft, medium. That'll be why. I'm so confused. We have 2 fresh softs. Wait, what? Why is there a compound locked out? I wonder if that unlocks itself during the race. Apparently the one stop is faster. I failed to see how when you can do this. There may be a soft waiting for us as well, but off we go.
The crowd are on their feet in anticipation of this, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
So Fernando on pole, El Plan well underway there. I'm going to come straight in. So hello. Is it weird that I now miss the focus on your 2 drivers in the pre-race stuff? They focused on Lando in 9th, which is fair enough. Although he's immediately 11th. Albon's immediately 12th. What's happened there? Ocon has. The Alpine's doing madness again. Norris on mediums, I think. So Albon sneaks an opportunity, or senses an opportunity, and then sneaks by. Yuki looking on the outbound of that as well. I think he's still behind for now, but Lando with a horrible start there. 9th to 12th in lap 1. Only 4 people on softs. I imagine most people are going to do a 1-stop. Everyone ahead of Alex and Yuki. I didn't see the overtake message. Successful there, apparently, but there we go. Took his time to come through, but Yuki's overtaken Lando into turn 1. Although it actually is part of the bend, technically a turn. I think there's a weird thing here where they actually count the bend as part of the turn. Yeah, it's technically turn 2, but still labelled it wrong, but it is turn 2, not turn 1. The kink on the straight is turn 1 for some reason. Not that we should kink shame, of course. It's taken 2 or 4 laps for these temperatures to get super hot, but Alex getting antsy behind Ocon. This could be our first pointless race, but Alex is trying to make something of it here. No more ERS to push though, unfortunately. The pole's ahead of Ocon for now. There's only 1 DRS zone as well, which is a shame because it requires us to keep pushing to the back straight. Might as well rewatch just because we're probably not going to get too many of these. Actually, no, we might get a fair few overtakes here because if we're doing 2 stops and everyone else is 1-stopping, then we're going to be fighting our way through the field twice, effectively. All right, so we're going to have to tell our drivers to calm things down a bit, temperature-wise. Our drivers do have DRS, but then so do the drivers they're trying to overtake, so I won't expect much. Have left Lando behind, so I'm kind of happy to take off the fuel. We feel okay. I'm going to take off the fuel, but I feel like we can hold on to these Alpines without any problem, even just on neutral fuel now. And we should hit our pit stops just fine. Oh yeah, I do want to check. No, that is still locked off for no apparent reason. That's a bug. It's not an ATA weekend. It's not a... There's no reason for that to be locked off. That is the compound that would have unlocked if we got into Q3, and it just hasn't unlocked for the race. Because it's still available for the race. For those people that don't go into Q3. It's why when you had to start the race on the tyre you qualified on, if you got into Q3, it's why people preferred qualifying 11th rather than 10th, because you had the option of going onto that completely fresh soft. 6 laps in, Alonso's still leading, which is fun to see. Stroll has progressed to 6th, annoyingly. So, whilst I thought there might be a sniff... Oh, Gasly's just vanished. What? Why has Gasly just vanished? What happened there? 117.6, 118.5. Gasly just decided to do the fastest lap of anyone that lap. Interesting. I think whatever pace he had is just gone. Or whatever pace Hamilton had is just gone. Because Alex has reclaimed that gap back almost immediately now, allowing him to push a little bit. So get that DRS essentially and then return to status quo and drag everyone along with you. If you can. I mean, 9 laps in, this is already looking like another safe, kind of boring race, if I'm completely honest with you. Nice, so we'll keep those temperatures under control, although now Alex is having a go at Pierre all of a sudden. We'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, I can see why people don't like this. There's something off about it, isn't it? And it's not just the fact it's not central. The previous version of this camera was better, that is for sure. As I clicked the wrong button. I think it's kind of gone slightly unnoticed that the rear angle is also off-center as well, but I don't know if that was always the case. Like, because you've already got this, so why would you want this camera angle to be off-center as well? Slightly odd. We'll have a stare at the back of Pierre Gasly's car, though. Enjoy the free advertising BWT there. So effectively, in the grand scheme of things, what we've done here is we've replaced Haas. Because at the beginning of this whole shebang, it was Haas and Alpine that were fighting for 9th and 10th. Week in, week out, in the first half of last season. So basically, we've just become Haas, and Haas have become us because they're fighting at the bottom. We've just swapped places, that's all that's happened. They pipped us to the post at the end of the Constructors at the end of last season, still, despite what, the game was trying to tell us in that race. Still have no idea what happened with there, by the way. And since then, we've decided to go Freaky Friday on them. I presume we're tracking all right, because if we can track above this, by the way, we can actually maybe... Actually, to be fair, if we track above this, then we've still got to try and get to a softer. We can't go to another soft because we don't have another soft. So, do you know what? I'm extra glad, though, that I didn't actually use the fresh softs in Q2 now, because if that third one was locked off anyway, then I don't know what would have happened. Guess he's really having a go at Hamilton ahead. So lap 13 is worth saying that there is a gap forming to Norris behind Tsunoda. We're obviously going to pit before most people. There's a good chance too that we could actually just go and decide to destroy these tyres. With lap 19 our target, we're on lap 14 now, so effectively we've got 6 laps to go. You know what, let's just go for this with both drivers. Alex were coming first just because I burnt his tyres a little bit just to get back in Gasly's DRS, which, long-term benefits have worked out. And actually, he's on the fringe of falling out of that anyway now, so it's probably worthwhile getting him to push again just to make sure he maintains that. And Tsunoda, Ocon actually now in danger of falling out of the DRS on Alex. But yeah, if we sort of unburden them again, allow them to go all out, bar the fuel and the DRS, of course, now. But Tsunoda could get Ocon. But I think realistically, you get the yellow thing when it's 4 laps to go. So it's going to be 3 laps to go to the pit anyway now. And they've got a little bit more wiggle room, really, on these softs. They might have another lap worth on their softs for Alex, and Tsunoda might have 2. But Tsunoda's passing Ocon and has passed Ocon. Meanwhile, Magnussen's claimed Norris behind. I mean, considering Haas so far this year, that's not a bad position for them, 13th. But a simple DRS pass for Tsunoda there, no fuss, all things considered. Oh, Yuki's found his favourite spot again of 11th. Now, Yuki's got to push to get into Alex's DRS because otherwise he's not going to have DRS at all because we need to get back into that, make that a train. But I can't force Gasly backwards. He's 7/10 behind as is. Sorry, Albon. I can't really force Albon off the back of it. Maybe they can use the DRS on each other to slingshot each other back into the DRS range at the end of next lap. Right, so they are overheating their tyres now, so I don't know how much of a detriment that will be. Both drivers do have DRS, but I think Ocon had it himself. Now 6 seconds clear of Norris, by the way. That gap is widening dramatically. So I believe next lap is the lap that we will sort of call to pit Alex anyway. It is. Tsunoda will get the same message, but we will pit him 1 lap later because he's got 1 lap's worth more of tyres, really. Might realistically be able to delay both drivers. You know what? When we get to the last sector, I'll see if Alex has got more than sort of 37 or around 37. I might let him go 1 more lap. Because I think if he's at like 36, 37, then he'll finish the next lap above 30, which is the sort of the drop-off point. They are getting quite warm now, and the bigger concern is whether Tsunoda will make 2 laps. But I think he probably should just do. Oh, he's already come in now anyway. Because apparently you start coming in there. Apparently the pit entry is here. Here. Never mind. Stick to the plan. I'm surprised there's only other couple of soft runners. I'm surprised they've not come in. They were at the back, admittedly, but we've got to get them through a train, unfortunately, now. But hopefully Alex comes out in a nice bit of clean air ahead of these 2 Alfa Romeos. Salvers, I should say, or behind them. That'll do. Also, by doing that, we've technically just dropped Ocon out of DRS of Gasly. So he's not going to have that benefit unless he goes for it, or is notably faster than Hamilton, who's at the head of that train. Alex, I presume, is faster than these Salvers, but he's got to get the tyres up to temperature. Sainz did fastest lap at some point. Now, one advantage here is Ricciardo is on soft, so I suspect he might pit this lap or next lap. And if he does that, then it's going to be easy to pass the other Sauber. He doesn't go this lap, so unfortunately that's a problem. If you can get both of them, Alex, that would be great. I mean, it was a decent overtake, actually, because he was outside of DRS. So this is the problem with the push strategy, is if you get stuck behind vehicles, which kind of negates that 10-second benefit, apparently, that we might have over doing a one-stop. So, okay, good news for Yuki there is he's just nabbed Ricciardo before we even got going. Probably, actually, even better news is Ricciardo doesn't immediately dip into the pits, which would have been my concern. Or at least would have been very annoying if that had happened. Like, you spend all the effort trying to get past someone who and then just disappears into the pits anyway. It's always the way in the game, really, it feels like. Well, Yuki makes a hash of getting past Bottas, annoyingly, so 2 seconds between the drivers. Like, it takes them the entire lap to do it. Although he did have the DRS, so he's closed up on Alex a little bit there. Now, interestingly, if I push actually doesn't overheat too hard, but we got to make this last because it's not actually a true 5 push. So we might as well bring those temperatures down. Be a little sensible. We'll put Don't Fight on just in case he does get in DRS range, as De Vries and Ricciardo now pit on lap 24. But Tsunoda does have DRS. Actually, if he's got DRS, it might be well worth topping up ERS. Although you have to be in DRS to do that. So Alonso and Verstappen pit, they were at the front anyway, so they're not going to be in the contention. They might even get out ahead of Norris. Oh no, they won't. There's some really long pits actually here. Yeah, Yuki does have DRS. There's a yellow flag. Briefly, it's Stroll running wide. That might actually put him into some kind of contention with us because he wasn't too far ahead. Yeah, there's the 2 Alpines. Hamilton's actually got past him. Oh, no, it's the one thing where they don't actually lose any time. Pointless. All right, now top up. Norris is pitted, but he was behind to begin with anyway. It's really the 2 Alpines that I kind of care about the most here. Actually, Verstappen and Alonso came out in a really nice spot behind the Alpines. I know Norris just pitted and might have been ahead of him technically, but they're in a good spot now. Like, they're a good solid 7 seconds behind the sort of Hamilton fight. As Albon's called Hulkenberg. Just do everything you can to get past him, please. Or just DRS him. That'd probably be the easiest thing. Alex, what are you doing, Alex? Overtake him, you cretin. I mean, could that look any more of a roadblock as I switch to it? Crikey. It's imperative that you get past. Rewatch that, though, because he didn't actually get to see it properly. So he's technically behind at the detection point, I think. Oh, no, actually, he wasn't. I think Hulkenberg was behind at the detection point. Albon's come out right behind Russell, who was ahead of Hamilton, if I remember rightly. So he has gained. This could be our opportunity to top up, actually, with Alex. Or he'd just drive past him. Oh, that was Tsunoda on Hulkenberg. I realised we're looking at the wrong person. So well ahead of Stroll. Bear in mind, of course, that we aren't 1 stopping here. We are 2 stopping. Russell vanished. But Stroll has come out behind. If there were any incidents around the time that we were going to pit anyway, again, that would be great. But there's a yellow flag that's persisting. It's a Hulkenberg lockup. Oh, so this is what he did last year, if I remember rightly. He did exactly the same thing last year. I remember that. But if we just let our drivers go for it during this period where people are taking pit stops, because the Alpines haven't pitted yet, they were technically running first and second there for a moment. But they both pit the same lap. Hang on a second. Oh, I think they've timed that. I think they had exactly the right gap to do that back-to-back. But Albon's through, Tsunoda's through. Ocon actually comes out behind Stroll. Gasly gets the undercut on Hamilton and Stroll, somehow. Overcut, I should say. Gasly had the overcut on Hamilton and Stroll. What? On Ocon's well down in 12th. But here's the thing, of course. It's basically this is all about making this hit that point at the time when we want to get there, really. So we can allow them to push a little bit and then bring the temperatures down, let them save that tyre wear a little bit. Obviously, Tsunoda's running a lap later, so it's all about getting him there a lap later. So, in fact, I probably ought to just update his strategy to show that, just so the game knows. That's what we're aiming at. He's getting closer to being back in DRS of Alex, though. Hamilton's hunting again. Yellow flag. 2 cars out. Well, Ricciardo's off the track, but that's not 2 cars out, is it? Because the Ferraris look close together. Unless Bottas hit Ricciardo, or vice versa. Did the Alfa Romeos come together? Saubers. Yeah, it is the Saubers coming together. But Bottas just continued on. Why did none of these ever benefit us? Still nobody actually retired. Never seems to benefit us, and nobody's retired. Still no retirements of anyone in the entire year so far. But Tsunoda now has DRS on Alex, so he can sort of hold on there. Although Hamilton has joined our party now. Can sort of let Alex go for it a bit. Now let Yuki go for it a bit as well. We're running okay, but my concern is that we're kind of forming the train that we need to then get ahead of anyway. Again. See, the pit window is open for both drivers here. Could take this opportunity while Yuki's behind Alex to conserve his fuel. And hopefully he doesn't get taken by Hamilton in the process of doing this. Ocon's well off here now. He hasn't got DRS. He's 8 seconds behind the whole train. I presume the pit stop here is quite long, which is the problem. Because I think we probably still only come out, at best, Piastri, Magnussen, etc. At worst, De Vries. But there's no way we make the end now anyway, so we're going to have to go for it. Yeah, but this is excellent timing, really, to get his fuel back. Everyone's a little too close together now. I kind of want everyone running at, at least neutral capabilities. Popped up with the prompt, so we'll make sure we pit Alex now. Let him get around that corner, take off Don't Fight, just so he sort of maybe takes an attack angle on him before he opens his DRS there. Get him to go on new tyres afterwards. Out of curiosity, what did the soft runners earlier go on to hard? So we are the only person doing 2-stop. Okay, so the good news is we did come out ahead of Magnussen / Piastri, just. And considering Tsunoda was basically on top of Alex, if he has a similarly good stop, he might be alright, provided we don't give Magnussen a toe on this lap. So we got to claim Ocon again. Yeah, Sonoda not quite so lucky, but does get fastest lap as a small saving grace there. Ricciardo's pitted again. Maybe because he took tyre damage when he had the incident. I think we're about to lap Ricciardo because of the 10-second penalty or 5-second penalty, whatever it was. But he's not actually going to get out of the pits ahead of us. No, he's about to be lapped by Piastri in 16th. Such is his race. And so Albon, who's gone for it, 2 seconds behind Norris, 11 behind Ocon. And they're going to be on ever worsening hards, of course. Oh, Sonoda's actually had a lot of problems. He got stuck behind Zhou and Magnussen to the degree of 7 seconds in the end. See, that's where this doesn't work. That's where this doesn't work because they just get stuck behind people. Yeah, so Norris held him up for about a second's worth because he was about 9 seconds behind in the first place. Alex does fastest lap just to make sure he gets to the end. And he'll definitely catch Ocon. Sonoda caught and overtook Norris before he even reacted to him getting there. He does it before the detection point. Who got DRS? Because I feel like Norris might be feisty enough to actually pull away or pull back into a fight there. But he seems to have made his stick anyway. He's a second ahead again. I've heard a thump there. I've heard a thump. I can see Stroll around the corner. That'll be why I heard the thump. Because it is Stroll, not Ocon. I thought it might be Ocon because I couldn't see his dot. But I heard a thump whilst on focus with Alex there. So we're going to recover this fuel anyway now. I was starting to recover his fuel to catch up with Ocon. That's a problem if the VST is more than 2 laps. We've had a retirement! Stroll is out. I was only 1.8 seconds behind now as well. Oh no, he is 2.5. It's reset itself. Hopefully everyone's done. I mean, they've taken Stroll's car away. Can we get going again, please? We've only got 2 laps. We can get Ocon for sure. We're never going to get back to Hamilton. But again, it's one of those situations where we've pushed, obviously, on those first 2 stints to even be where we were when we had that second pit stop. So there's absolutely no way of knowing how the 1 stop would have gone because we wouldn't have been able to push on the 1 stop. So we would have been naturally a lot slower. Well, I'm just going to go aggressive push deploy just to make sure. Oh, it's ending now with 1 and a bit laps to go. Oh no, it's 60. No, they've just started lap 62. We've got 2 and a bit laps to go. We had to start lap 62 because the leader's around here, which is Sainz, actually. I now realise. Alonso, mate, what happened there? So we've got 2 laps to reclaim what is now apparently a 4-second or 3-second gap. He can't make his mind up. Come on, Alex, you can do it. I believe in you. I mean, we've already got a point because we're in 10th because of Stroll crashing, but Sonoda has done fastest lap. He's in 11th. He's taken it off Alex. Oh no, I think someone might have done the fastest lap in between those 2 points. Oh, because it's a VSC, everyone started pushing again. Can Gasly just crash randomly now? That'd be great. Right, so Alex gets within DRS range, but there's no DRS to the line. He has to get that second. The VSD actually killed our chance of getting Ocon, which is annoying, but simultaneously gave us the place we were going to get anyway. But I think technically it lost us the point because of fastest lap. It's our first ever fastest lap though, and it doesn't count. Daniel Ricciardo's got to be getting fed up of finishing 19th or 20th. Yuki went a good solid half a second faster. I think Perez may have taken off him. Perez took the fastest lap of Albon before Tsunoda took it back anyway, so I think we're all right on that one. I can't be annoyed now. That's fine. We're okay. He didn't rob a point off his teammate there. I don't know what's going on, Fernando, though. Finished 10 seconds off the pace, qualified first, and was with it for the first stint, but then it just became the Ferrari and Red Bull show as always. And Carlos Sainz came from 8th as well. 10th, sorry. Up 8 places. His first podium, incidentally. But Sergio Perez has been second, first. And I believe is now leading by 8 points. Fernando's getting there now, slowly. Things remain status quo. Pierre with his 2nd points haul after getting 1 point in the first race and nothing since. And Alpine do close a little bit on us there. Once again, AlphaTauri and Red Bull dominating this. I say dominating as if everyone else isn't that far behind. But thankfully we get the points. But we are halfway to our overall objective already, which is 12 points finishes out of the full season. And we've got 6 out of 12 after round 6. So that's not bad, is it? And we're on target for our overall 6 or above 4 this season. They're delighted with every race so far on that board. Objectives wise, they're happy there and they're satisfied. The fact we got no debt, so everything's happy on that front. We've had a couple of inspection failures there. Rear wing, we're building new ones anyway, so. Oh, we actually had rear wings ready for the race. We didn't actually put them on. My bad. Good morning. I'm afraid the sponsor was quite displeased and has decided to cancel the media appearance obligation with Yuki Tsunoda on the 3rd of June 2024. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but this will lose us some more sponsor funding. Oh no, we're going to lose $100,000. You can't see it behind my head. Oh no, what a shame. However, will we cope with this $100,000 loss? Which will, in turn, give Yuki Tsunoda his full 80-odd, or 77, I think it is now, actually, control rating for that particular race on the 3rd of June. Might be Britain, or Austria, something around there. Why is this framed like it's bad news? This is the best news possible. I get to get rid of all those obligations I never wanted in the first place. So by declining one of these sponsor obligations, I've saved myself the bother of another one. Yes! Gaming the system. Wow, they're all in the 70s now, these F2 drivers. An F2 driver talent is Zane Maloney. He's within the Red Bull driver program, actually. So keep an eye on him. He's 76 already. What's Lawson? 76. But Monaco next in 4 days' time. It's 3 back-to-back races here as well. It's Monaco and then Canada. We don't get anything new car part-wise until after Canada, and we won't be able to build any of them probably until Austria regardless. In fact, the media obligation was for Spain. So, yes! Yuki will have full control for that race as well. I love it when a plan comes together. But another point scoring finish, which is, even if it's a 10th place, it's another point and goes towards our overall objectives, which makes the board happy. And to be fair, the only way is up from here as well. So fingers crossed we can keep things going. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit status quo for the next 2 races. The next 2 races for this week, in fact, of course. So we don't get any new parts until probably Austria next week in terms of upload schedule. So this is going to be our fighting tooth and nail for points section of the year, I suspect, really. So hopefully these races are enjoyable, and we've had our first DNF of the year. It's taken 6 races. 6. And it's ye old favourite Lance Stroll that's taken that particular point. Thanks, Lance. Thanks. Oh, well, if you enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal by now. Until next time, ta-ra.